Hello everyone, and welcome to this short lesson on securing APIs with Amazon Cognito. My name is Matthew Eddy, and today we're going to cover how we can secure our APIs with Amazon Cognito. Now, before we get started, this lesson will be broken up into multiple videos. In the first video, we will set up our API and we will create a Lambda function to handle requests from our API. We'll then end the video off by testing our API to make sure that our Lambda function and API are working correctly. And then we'll go ahead and deploy our API so that it is accessible from the internet. In the next video, we will go ahead and set up Amazon Cognito, and we'll create a Cognito user pool. We will then use that user pool to lock down our API and protect our resources or our endpoints on our API. In the last video, we will pretty much see how we can regain access back to our API by means of an authentication token. So we're going to authenticate with Amazon Cognito to obtain an authentication token, and then we'll use that authentication token to regain access to our home page. So let's go ahead and get things started. I'm over here on the Lambda dashboard, and I'm going to click this create function. I'm going to leave it authored from scratch, and I'm going to call my Lambda function home function. I'm going to select Python 3.11 and I'm going to hit create. And so this is going to create a new Lambda function. Alright, wonderful. As you can see, we have our boilerplate code here for our new Lambda function that says hello from Lambda. Now let's head over to API Gateway and let's create a new RESTful API. I'm going to leave new API and I'm going to call this my app API, and I'm going to hit create API. Now for my API, I'm going to go ahead and create a resource, and I'm going to call my resource home. This is going to be the endpoint or the URL that we're going to access to get our response back when we deploy our API. I'm going to hit create resource. Now for this resource, this home resource, I'm going to create a method. The method type is going to be get. I'm going to leave Lambda function as the integration type selected, and then I'm going to check this Lambda proxy integration right here. Now for my Lambda function, I'm going to choose my home function, and I'm going to hit create method. Alright, wonderful. So now that we have integrated or set up our Lambda with our API, let's go ahead and test it out. As you can see here, I'm on the test tab, and I just want to hit test. And as you can see, we get the hello from Lambda that was over here, or returned from our Lambda function when we test it out with our API gateway. So that seems to be working correctly. Now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and deploy our API. For our stage, we're going to hit new stage, and we're going to hit, and for our stage name, we'll just call it prod, and we'll hit deploy. Alright, so now we have our invoke URL. Let's go ahead and copy that and paste that into a browser. Now we also have to add on the /home to the end of that invoke URL, and we should get our hello from the Lambda. And as you can see, here's our message right here, hello from Lambda. Alright, wonderful. So this concludes the first part of the video or our lesson. In the next video, we are going to use Amazon Cognito to create a user pool, and then we're going to use that user pool to lock down this API, and no one's going to be able to access this endpoint here without the means of an authentication token, or without first authenticating with Cognito. So I'll see you there.